What's up, everyone? Anyways, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG deck builders. Anyways, so yeah, we're here today to go ahead and show you guys what a Mega Mewtwo EX deck looks like. This is actually my own rendition of a Mega Mewtwo EX deck. And the reason why I choose to do my own style on this is because of the fact that it's done really well. Now, again, this is my deck that I used over at the Fort Wayne Regionals tournament for the Trainers Challenge and got 4th. I didn't actually get 4th in the actual regionals because I took a different deck in there, but I did take this one to the Trainers Challenge and I had done very well with it. I did do some modifications since I did get another Shaman and a couple of the cards in here to modify the deck. So with that being said, I think the deck is a lot better than it was, so we're going to go ahead and explain to you guys what the Mega Mewtwo Y looks like. So we're going to go ahead and go through like normal, just just kind of a recap on the whole entire deck, and then I'll explain a little bit of other stuff through the deck as well. So we got got Trubbish, we got Gardevoir, pretty standard, obviously. We got Mewtwo, Hoopa EX, Shaman EX times 2, Mewtwo EX times 4, Mega Mewtwo times 3, Shrine of Memory times 3, Mewtwo Spirit Link times 3, Floatstone times 2, Super Rod, Trainer's Mail times 3. We got VS Seeker times 4, Ultra Ball times 3, Mega Turbo times 4, Lysander times 2, Brock's Grit, Pokemon Fan Club, Pokemon Ranger, Skyla. We got N times 3, Professor Sycamore times 3. We got Double Colorless Energy times 4, and I believe we got 7 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe. We got 8 energies that are psychic in this deck. So yeah, we'll go ahead and explain to you guys what the deck is and why it does real well, and why I don't have as much draw support in this deck as what most people would prefer. So yeah, so obviously Gardevoir and Trubbish are pretty standard in Mega Mewtwo Y, because Mega Mewtwo doesn't use an ability. Now you can also say, why are you using it when you got 2 Shamans and a Hoopa in here? Well, most of the time you're going to be getting Hoopa and Shaman out before you can get even Gardevoir out. Now, the only reason why I would want to get Gardevoir out before Hoopa and Shaman is if I'm running up against a Giratina deck. And this is what caused me to win at that tournament in 4th place, is because I was going up against a lot of Giratina Darkrai decks, right? Which is the worst matchup for you to go up against if you're Mega Mewtwo, right? Because Giratina has the Mega Shut Off. Well, I would get Gardevoir out on either turn 2 or turn 3 fully powered with that Floatstone, or just, you know, a tool that's attached to him to get the ability to work. And it would shut off Giratina's ability for Mega Shut Off. So, the reason why I won was because of that. They didn't expect it. I wouldn't Mega Evolve, obviously, until I needed to. And then when I got a chance to, and he was fully powered up, and I had the Spirit Link on Mewtwo EX, boom, Mega Evolved. Mewtwo's already powered up, boom. Lysandered out Giratina, or either that Giratina was already out, and I knocked it out. You know, just usually Giratina doesn't get powered up fast enough, and they didn't see that happen, and that's what caused me to win. I think I like 4 out of the 6 battles I had were, no, 3 out of the 6 battles I did that day were Giratina Darkrai. So it's a win situation if you can get Gardevoir out. If not, it's gonna be a tough battle because Giratina's got a lot of shut-offs. But yeah, that's pretty standard in a Mega Mewtwo deck. And that's because Gardevoir takes a long time to get out. So it's okay to have this lineup here. Now, I run this Mewtwo in here because he's a better substitute than the Lugia that I had at there. Now, Lugia is an alright card, but in a Psychic deck, you want a Psychic Pokemon, so preferably. So, and I decided to go with this Mewtwo because the HP is 130 HP, and then Psychic, this attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it does a decent attack. It does 20 automatically, but for DCE, that's not bad. Then you got Barrier, which obviously prevents all damage done to that Pokemon. So that's not bad. That's good. It's a good staller card if you need it, and it's just an overall good card in general. Not as powerful as Mega Mewtwo Y because it's on both actives, but it's kind of a baby Mewtwo right there. Hoopa EX we have in this deck, obviously for multiple reasons, and that's for the straight up getting your Pokemon out with that Scoundrel Ring, so we can get our 3 EXs that we need. The only changes, big changes here, is that you see instead of 1 Shaman, we got 2 Shamans, and that's because I pulled another Shaman from a pack the other day. So I included the Shaman in here because it's pretty standard to have 2 Shaman in a Mewtwo deck, and it's overall good for draw support, that emergency, or whatever you need to do for Sky Return. So, but to set up the build, you just can't say no to that. My 4 Mewtwo EXs with damage change. Now, if you're running up against a Mirror Mewtwo deck, this is what you would be using against the Mirror deck, because the Shatter Shot it applies for weakness, so it does for 30 times the amount of psychic energy attached to just Mewtwo in general. Then you would use damage change if you need to go ahead and go up against any Pokemon out there that that decides to do damage to you. Obviously, most of you guys know what a Mewtwo deck does, but it's the dart you would use over Cyber and Mewtwo for this deck particular because it's Shrine of Memory, and for Mega Mewtwo Y. It's a good card, obviously, for the heal aspects of damage change, and on top of that, the Shatter Shot. It's just about as good as Psychic Affinity. The only difference is it's for every psychic energy instead of just all energies. So this Mewtwo is a good card in general. You want that in your deck for a Mega Mewtwo Y deck at least. Our last one obviously is Mega Mewtwo Y. And the reason why you have Mega Mewtwo Y in this deck is obviously for Psychic Infinity. Now it does base damage of 10, but then it does plus damage. So this does 30 damage times the amount. Does 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This attack doesn't affect weakness as well. So you can't hit for weakness with Psychic Affinity, so when you're going up against a mirror match, you wouldn't want to use that. You would want to use the Shrine of Memory for the Psychic. The other attack, which I believe is Shatter Shot. But when you're going up against any other typical deck, this is the preferred attack you'd want, which is the Psychic Infinity, which is what makes Mega Mewtwo so darn powerful. Not only is it doing a base damage of 10, but it's 30 damage times the amount of energies on both actives. That's you and your opponent, and just Mewtwo just becomes so broken at that point. So this is why we use Mega Mewtwo Y, and why he's such a good card. He's also beefy at 210 HP, and it's part of the reason why he's in the meta, because it's quick. Just put a DCE, boom, he's powered up. He's powered up, and he's doing what, 60, 70 instant damage. So that was the last of our lineup of Pokemon, by the way. So our stadiums we're running are Shrine of Memory, and we run 3 of those in this deck. Obviously, you need this Shrine of Memory to be able to do damage change, and it's the only reason why we have it in there, unless you're doing a mirror match against a Mewtwo deck or any other type of Psychic deck, because this allows us to do, obviously, Shatter Shot. And also damage change when you need to, because obviously for each player, evolved Pokemon, you can attack from its previous evolutions. That players still need the necessary energy to use the attack, which is alright, which is a good thing. That's what makes this deck, very, very OP, and it's like the central point of having this deck. You can have this deck without Shrine of Memories and it'd still be alright, but to be a meta deck, you want that full heal without having to, discard all the energies. So now we got Mewtwo Spirit Link, obviously here to prevent the loss of turn to eat Mega Evolve, and that's why we have the Spirit Links. Pretty standard in a Mega deck. Floatstones are here specifically. One's for, obviously, Garbiter. The other one is for Hoopa. You really wouldn't be using it for Shaman, but Hoopa for sure. You get that for your retreat. That's pretty much what we're having it there for. Super Rod. Super Rod is specifically here for the gain the energy you need back from the discard, or just Pokemon you need from the discard if you get Parallel City'd, or let's say that you got one too many Pokemon that you thought were dead. Obviously, you grab 3 in any combination of energy or Pokemon, put them back in your deck, and shuffle it afterwards. Pretty simple. Most decks run that, even though that there's Brock's Grits here. Trainer's Mail, pretty standard. Take a look at the top 4 cards of your deck. If there's any trainer card there except for Trainer's Mail, put it in your hand, or take it and put it in your hand. If not, shuffle your cards back in your deck. Afterwards, it's a consistency card. I mean, obviously that's why anyone runs Trainer's Mail. You don't need anything lower than 3, and I wouldn't run anything higher. Obviously, I mean, I would run 4 if you want to. You don't need 4, but 3, I wouldn't run anything less than 3, because 3 is what's going to get you your consistency in the deck. So, Trainer's Mail is obviously there for those reasons. Sycamore, you wouldn't. Via Seeker, you wouldn't run anything lower than 4 in that deck. Via Seeker is what's going to give us mainly our whole library of supporter cards, and we run. Let's see how many we got here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 supporters. That's about like a third of my my deck right there. So it's good, because when you discard a supporter, you can grab back from the discard and you can put it in your hand. So, or if you use one, you can go back into it later and grab it if you need to. So Via Seeker is there specifically for those reasons. Ultra Ball, most people don't like the fact that I only use 3 Ultra Balls. And the reason why is for many reasons. I run, obviously, Hoopa, and most of my cards are EX Pokemon, so I don't need to worry about too much. The only reason why I'm using this Ultra Ball here is to potentially get the Hoopa in early game. So we run 3 of them. But usually, I run this, obviously, and as you guys see, it is a card I'm using. That's Pokemon Fan Club, and Pokemon Fan Club allows me to grab 2 of any basic Pokemon, put it in my hand, and shuffle my deck afterwards. So that's why I don't run for Ultra Ball, because there's no need to when you got that many ways to get Pokemon out. But obviously, Ultra Ball is take 2 cards from your hand, discard them, then search your deck for a Pokemon, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. It's pretty much a standard in any Pokemon deck to have at least 3. You don't need to have 4, but 4 is preferred for most decks. But this deck, I only run 3 because of the other options. Mega Turbo. This is a very, what you'd say, very important in this deck. Mega Turbo is another way how you get your energies back from the discard. And it's also another way to power up your Mega Mewtwo's when you have energy in the discard. It's an energy acceleration card, and you need them for Mega Pokemon. So if you got Mega Pokemon and you're not using Max Elixir, Mega Turbo is the best way to go with that lineup. It's perfect in Mega Mewtwo deck because it powers up Mega Mewtwo, so by a lot, because 30 energy per energy. It's pretty good. Now I do run a Brock's Grits here, obviously, just for I wouldn't say really consistency, but it's there for in case Super Rod had to get discarded, or if I used it early game, or if it's there, then I need it. So I got it for discard pile if I need to use it with Via Seeker to grab. So it's basically there to prevent me from decking out, or to get the cards that I need to win the game, possibly. So it's just a Super Ride on steroids. That's why you don't see me running 2 Brock's Grits or 2 Super Rods, is because you're using one of the other, and it's good to have one of both instead of 2 of 2, because this deck doesn't. It's not like a Mega Gardevoir where you want probably 2 Brock's Grits with that Despair Ray and a possible Super Rod, but Broxgrit is good because it shuffles 6 cards in any combination of Pokemon and basic energies from your discard pile and into your deck. So it's there for a lot of reasons. And Broxgrit's just a good card in general. Pokemon Fan Club, obviously. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon, reveal them, and put them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. It's basically Ultra Ball on steroids, Master Ball on steroids, actually. So, which is obviously, you guys know, as an ASIC trainer. Just it's for basic, not any Pokemon. So, but still basic. You can get your Hoopa and boom, just boom, first turn, get all your Pokemon that you need. Pokemon Ranger is a tech card. We obviously use Pokemon Ranger in this deck just to get around Regice, which is a EX shut-off Pokemon, or we use that to get around other Pokemon that you need that to get around with. That prevents, damage. So, like Klefki, I believe you can get around with. No, Klefki, you could actually use your damage change to get around it because it's specifically the way it's worded. But Regice is obviously, like I said, it's the main reason why we use Pokemon Ranger. Skyla is a good card. It's the emergency float stone or the emergency spirit link that you would want. We run this in there specifically for that purpose, so we don't have to worry about having to dig through the deck to get it. But Skyla is there. Obviously, you use Skyla, which states search your deck for a trainer, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. It's a good card. Lysander, pretty standard to have 2 of them in your deck, and obviously switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. It's there for the compatibility. It's there to get the easy win, or it's there to stall. That's why you use Lysander. It's a very important card. With Mega Mewtwo out, it's normally for a knockout, especially for Shaman. And we run 3 ends, not 4, because it's not as needed in this Mega Mewtwo deck. Most decks typically run 3 or 4, but it's not as needed in this deck because you got 2 Shaman. So that's okay. So I mean, with 3 ends, it's perfectly fine. It's more of a staller card, or to be the person if you're ahead, just to get them to reshuffle your cards. It's a beginning card. If you got bad hand, it's just for draw support. Or if you're losing, it's a good card to stall the game to make sure that they get less cards. So each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Each player draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. Pretty standard. Now, I got 3 Sycamore. I'm actually going to make that 4 Sycamore after this video. I didn't realize how many energies I had. Apparently I have 8 energies in here. You don't need 8 energies, by the way. I'll drop it down to 7. 4 prefers to Sycamore because of the draw power. He's the most powerful card in the series. Obviously, there's many reasons why we run Sycamore in decks. It's just go to your hand, draw 7 cards. You got a bad hand, boom, you can grab more cards. Simple as that. Straightforward. You got ways of discarding cards so you can get cards back from the discard. So this is why we have Sycamore here. It's powerful. You need it. I don't know why anyone would run anything less than 3 Sycamore, but in this case, I guess 3 is all right, but 4 is what I preferably would want to have. So I'm going to swap one of my energies. I didn't realize I only had 3 Sycamore in this deck. I just made these decks last night again. Like I redid this deck last night and all my other decks last night. So it was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So that's why. I probably only have 3 in here. I didn't realize it. But yeah, I would have 4 normally Sycamore in this deck. So that's why we have Sycamore here. For DCE, obviously, Mega Mewtwo powers up, obviously, off of the DCEs. Just one, boom, powered up. Counts as 2 energies. Very good card. And it's also there for the retreat for like a Hoopa if you can't get Floatstone out. Or Sky Return for, for Shaman for the 30 damage plus take all the cards into your hand. You know, it's there for multiple reasons. Usually, I mean, even in this meta, it's scary to have DCEs because of Mega Scissor, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. For Mega Mewtwo, it powers up fast enough and you're fine. So if I rerun 4 of them in this deck. Sycamores are falling off my deck over here. So we run again. We're going to be running 7. I don't know why I have 8 in here, but we're going to run 7 Psychic Energies in this deck. You don't need more than 6, honestly, so 7's kind of overkill. But we're going to go ahead and run 7 in this deck, just for purposes. Maybe we'll run 6. Maybe I'll throw in another Ultra Ball. Actually, you know, we'll run 6 and I'll throw in another Ultra Ball because 6 is actually a good number in this deck. You don't need more than that. So yeah. Obviously, Psychic Energy is what powers up Mega Mewtwo, but when you got, you know, DCA in there, you really don't need any more than that to power up. And it's overall just, it's a good amount of energy. So, well, guys, that will wrap up for this episode. And please like, subscribe, share, and comment if you guys can in the description below. And I think that's it. Let me go get you guys a code card. I don't know why I keep on forgetting those. But go grab you guys some code cards so you guys can enjoy and have some. Go ahead and enjoy this code card, guys. That would be a Flash Fire, by the way. Can't believe I gave you guys a Flash Fire one. And go ahead and have this code card as well. Anyways, guys, that is all I have again, and I have much more content coming up, as well as some deck builders episodes, so you guys can understand what other decks we have. I have Mega Gardevoir Despair Ray coming up. I have a Mega Scissor deck coming up, and I have an expanded deck finally, which is my Mega Lucario / Zygarde deck coming up, which is heavily expanded. So please stay tuned for those, guys, and I will see you guys later. Bye.